Hello, it's Dave here, Bucket List Guide. I want to talk to you about packing for Annapurna Trek. Now, the Annapurna Trek, like every space camp, is a long trek. It's 13 days roughly. So we're going to have to be very careful about what we pack, the weight of it. We're making sure we pack everything that's essential. We've got 13 days and we've got 15 kilograms of weight that we can take in our duffel bag that the porters will carry. I'm going to start with the day pack though. This is a day pack that I use. It's about 35 to 40 litres capacity. I like this one, and Keith has a similar one as well because it's got a vented back on it, and that stops your back getting sweaty, and particularly when you move to the higher altitude, it stops your back getting sweaty and then getting very cold and achy at night. So I really like this bag. You'll see attached to it I have already some walking poles. I only use one pole, many people use two, and I tend to use it walking downhill. I'm fine uphill and along the straight, but downhill I like to have another pole to take the weight off my knees. So there's my day pack. Now what's going to go in this pack? Well, there's some very important things. First of all, I always have either a black bin liner or I've got a nice big dry bag that goes inside. This rucksack day pack has got a cover, but water, if it is raining, and it doesn't often on Annapurna, but if it does rain, I do find it just finds its way in. So everything I put in this bag, this rucksack, goes inside this bag. So that's the first thing. Right, what else is important to go in the day bag? You've got to carry something that is waterproof to wear and also windproof. So I have a waterproof jacket, Gore-Tex jacket. It's not very heavy, but that will go in the bottom of this pack. With that, waterproof leggings as well. So dual purpose, if it's raining, I stay dry. If it's very windy and icy cold, which it can be at the top, because 18,000 feet up, 5,400 meters, this stops the wind getting through. So it's very good at keeping you nice and warm if you've got the right gear underneath. Okay, still with the day pack. The next thing, and this is very important to carry with you all the time, is a first aid kit. Now, as your leader, I will be carrying a larger first aid kit, but you must carry your own as well. If I'm taking 10 people up a mountain, I cannot carry supplies for 10 people. You will need to carry your own dialerite. You'll see on the kit list, very clear, plasters, Compeed, all those things that you need to keep your feet in good condition and your internals working okay. The other important thing is, I know we're climbing high and it might be very cold, is that you will need sun lotion, really good sun lotion. So that also needs to be in your pack. So there's your first aid kit in your day bag. So we haven't got to the main bag yet, so we've not touched the 15 kilograms. We're just making sure we're carrying the right things when we're actually trekking. So we've got those. The next thing is, and the kit list is very clear, you need to carry about 2 litres of water. Now you'll be able to top up your water containers when we stop, and we do stop for tea and we do stop for lunch, and obviously there's an evening meal as well, and there is clean water to purchase then. I carry a Nalgene, which I clearly identify. I've got some stickers on because a lot of people carry these. There's a litre of water in there, and we also, all of us, all the leaders, like to carry a water to go bottle. If we get in dire straits, which is very, very rare, and we need to just run some water from a tap anywhere, this has got a built-in filter, and I know that water is going to be absolutely clean. So it's a good backup, but also I use that for my ordinary drinking water. Now some of you will have what gets called a camelback in your bag. This is a Hydrapack, it's a version of it where you fill it up with water, it goes in your rucksack, and then you have a tube and you sip water from this. They are good. A couple of drawbacks you just need to be aware of. When you get very high up, you get very, very cold, and I've seen these pipes freeze, and if it's frozen, you're not going to be drinking. The second thing is, and it's not, I have to say, it happens quite often. Sometimes in the rush in the morning, people fill these, they put them in their bag, and they haven't quite sealed them, and then they've got water running in their bag. I'm not saying don't have one. I'm saying just make sure you know how to use it. Make sure you've got a backup for altitude. And at the same time, be aware you've got to drink this water to maintain your health at altitude. So just sipping on one of these and thinking you've drunk plenty and you don't know is not really a good idea. You've got to know that you're taking in your 2 litres of water. So you might have one of these in your bag. You're certainly going to have these tucked in the side. Right, let's get on to the main bag. We've got 13 days of trekking. Well, the first thing we're going to make sure about is at night we are comfortable. So I've got a 3-season sleeping bag. I've also in there have got a silk liner, which I find adds extra warmth. It also keeps my sleeping bag clean as well. This sleeping bag with Annapurna I find is sufficient. We do stay in tea houses. The rooms aren't insulated. Sometimes there's ice on the walls, it can happen. But there will be bedding in the tea house. So there will be heavy blankets, insulating layers if you like. So I find a 3-season bag is sufficient. There's no need to go to the expense of a 4-season bag. So that goes in our main bag. That's keeping us warm at night. Some people like to take a travel pillow. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm not addicted to that. There are pillows. As long as you can get a comfortable night's sleep, that's fine. The next most important thing, I think, you've got to look after are your feet. So we're keeping ourselves hydrated. We're keeping ourselves warm at night so that we can sleep and we can rest. But during the day, it's our feet. I, in common with a number of my colleagues, tend to have this kind of boot. You'll see it's got quite a high side to it because we're protecting our ankles over rocky paths. But it's also it's waterproof. It's quite lightweight, but much stronger than just an ordinary approach shoe. And this is what I'm wearing on the day treks. 13 days worth, so I've got to make sure they're broken in and comfortable. With these, now I always tuck them inside, these gaiters. They are mini gaiters. Annapurna, every time I've been over the pass, Tongla past Annapurna, there's been snow. It's never been more than mid shin length. So short, if you've got short gaiters, they will be fine. People also have got long ones as well, but you do need a pair of gaiters because you've got to keep that snow out of your boots, obviously. So these boots here are quite heavy, but of course they're not going to apply to my 15 kilograms, are they? Because I'm going to be wearing these. The gaiters will go in the bag, sure, but the boots I'll be wearing. So I put them to one side because I'm going to be wearing those. The next thing is socks. I take socks of different weights. This is a lighter weight hiking sock because we're going to go through 3 or 4 climate zones when we climb Annapurna. And I've got a merino sock, and at the bottom of here I've got a very thick mountain sock for going over the top. I cannot put in 13 pairs, so usually I have around about 7 pairs. And one of the tricks I've learnt to make them last longer is before I even pack them away while I'm still in England, I turn them inside out and I sprinkle the inside with talcum powder, then put them the right way around again. So every time I put on a pair of socks, it's freshly powdered. I don't do it on the treks, I haven't got time, but there's the comfort of that. And it also enables those socks to be worn for 2 days. So 7 pairs of socks will certainly get you through. Goes in the bag. What have we got? What have we got next? Well, let's just talk about our tops. We've got to think multi-purpose. We've got 15 kilograms. We've got to think multi-purpose. So I take trekking t-shirts, wicking t-shirts. This is an example of it. This is a short sleeve one. And this I can wear on day 1, 2 and 3, fine. With just a light jacket, fine. But I have a number of these because they form my first base layer. And as we get higher and higher up, I'll be wearing one of these underneath and then other layers on top. So these, I probably have half a dozen of these. So one, I can't have one for every day. I haven't got that kind of weight. So perhaps one for every 2 days. And obviously, and in here, got my underwear as well. I've got as many pairs of pants as I can get in within the weight limit. Again, I'm going to talk about the talcum powder trick. My underwear, certainly my jockey shorts and my socks, I've put talcum powder in them before I even put them in the bag, so that I'm absolutely making sure there's no chafing, I'm not sore, because this is day after day hiking. So in they go. It's quite a big bag, you can see, but it's essential stuff. Now, we're coming up on layers. We're going up to 5,500 meters. It's a long way up. And what happens is, during the day, the sun feels quite warm, but the minute the sun disappears, the temperature will drop, -15, -20. So we've got to be ready for that. And what I take also then are a couple of fleeces. I have a large fleece which I can zip up over the top, and a very, very thin one. So I've got my base t-shirt on, and I'll probably have a thin fleece to start with, and nearer the top a thicker one. So that's for keeping me warm. As a kind of insurance, and it's on your kit list, I also take some lightweight but really dependable base layers, merino base layers. You can get these in shops that sell ski gear or whatever. Now the beauty of merino is this: you cannot always tell what the temperature is going to be like. You might have a hot ascent, you might have a very, very cold one for days on end. Once you put merino on, apart from the obvious, you do not have to take it off. It never smells, it wicks away moisture, so you can wear these for 4 or 5 days on the trot, and you won't be being antisocial. You'll feel comfortable with yourself and you'll be warm. And in fact, so warm that at night, you just leave on your long johns, leave on your merino top, get in your sleeping bag, and you'll be as warm as toast, no matter how cold it is. So I do take leggings and a merino close fitting top as well for when it's very cold. That goes with my warm gear in the bag. I should be wearing, when I'm walking, a pair of zip-off lightweight trekking trousers. You'll find them in all kinds of sports shops. They've just got a zip off around the knee so they can become shorts if I want them to be, or they can stay as long trousers, very lightweight. But for the big ascent night, when we go up to 5,500 meters, I will be wearing a thicker pair of trousers. So I'm wearing a pair of trousers which converts to shorts, but I've also got this, if you like, to accompany my merino gear. So that's for if it's very cold. So that goes in. Staying with the warmth factor, a buff. Now this again, I'm addicted to this. Is a merino buff. It doesn't itch, it doesn't chafe, doesn't do anything. But cold starts in the morning. Certainly on the big ascent night. This is a wonderful thing to have, because you can cover your face with it, you can cover your ears with it, and you keep your neck nice and warm. And also, and I bought this on Annapurna, a warm hat. I know it looks ridiculous, but no one else has got one like it. But you will definitely need a very warm hat as well. So that's an example of that. And with that in here, there's a pair of warm mitts and a pair of lighter gloves. And the lighter gloves I probably wear for most of the trek actually, because it stops wear and tear on your hands. And it just feels nice and comfortable. So a nice pair of light gloves, but some mitts to to put on if it's very cold. So that's the warm stuff. I always carry a peaked hat, and this one has got a roll down back so that when it's on, it covers, just like the Foreign Legion, it covers the back of your neck. So the issue is this: once you get over about 3,000 meters, the ultraviolet radiation ramps right up. So you need very, very good sun protection, not only lotion but also physical. A light hat like this, which is again is wicking, doesn't cost a fortune, keeps your neck nice out of the sun. If you wear a light buff as well, I mean I have a merino one but I have a light one as well, a light buff, then you're not going to get the back of your neck affected, and you'll stay nice and healthy. So that's great for the sun. That too, I can go in my hat bag if you like. Now, when we get to the tea houses, lovely food, lovely drink. There'll be a nice fire going, powered by yak dung quite often. But what there also will be some electricity. So you need to take, if you've got a charger for your phone, I have one here. You need to take a charger because you've got with the right adapter on it, which you'll be able to plug in. If you go online and just look up Nepal adapter, it will show you which one. I think it's not this too thin pin one, it's a flat pin one, but you need the right adapter, don't forget that. But I also take with me a power bank as well, and because electricity can be variable, I take a head torch at night, particularly if I need to go to the loo. So I'm carrying that all with me. So a nice power bank, a charger. I keep it all in one bag, all my electronics if you like, and my head torch. I just keep that in one bag, net cover so I can see it even if it's a bit dim at night. That goes in my bag as well. What have I got left? Right, you get to camp. No matter how comfortable your boots are, I like to give my feet a rest. Now we all have different views on this. I like to take these waterproof open sandals because it's a chance for my feet to aerate, but it's also, if it's a bit wet and muddy, I can still walk over whatever ground I need to perhaps to get to the dining area. So I do take a pair of shoes to give my feet a rest. So sandals are great, slip-ons can work okay. This is just what I take, and again that goes in my bag. Last thing is toiletries. We're away a couple of weeks. I tend to have in here the obvious things like deodorant. I have biodegradable shampoo. You can buy that online, particularly the kind of wilderness we go through. It's about being respectful of that. In it will be a travel towel, essential pair of scissors, but also fabulous invention, wet wipes. There will be showers available. They won't always be hot. It might be cold. You might be very tired. This is the way to keep your hinges and your joints in good condition while you're on the trek. Obviously, I've got a toothbrush in here. I've got a mini toothpaste which seems to last. I even put a razor in, but I don't use it, I have to say. So there are my toiletries. The last thing, really, and this is a choice. I'm not like Keith. I'm not a warm body. I'm a skinny soul. Okay. I've got a synthetic jacket, and I'd probably wear that as the trek progresses after about day 5, most of the trek. It's great, it stops the wind getting through, it's got some warmth to it, and it's just right if you have to stop. So that's what I'm wearing mostly. However, on the summit night when we go over at 5.5, it can be very cold up there, -20. Now Keith would manage, the boss, he would manage. I can't, so I do take a down jacket with me. This is happens to be an Outkit jacket. It's great, but all kinds of makes. This really does keep me warm, and if there's a bit of blast, I will put on my waterproof jacket as well. If it's say snowing or raining, again the waterproof jacket will go on top. whole idea of this jacket is it fits over waterproof jacket. Do you remember? It's in my day bag, fits over everything. So I do take this with me. So if you are a cold body, then for Annapurna, you can have your layers fine, but you might want this as a backup. And the beauty of it is because it's down, it looks huge, it looks bulky, but actually you can compress it. If you put it in a dry bag, you can compress it down to hardly anything, and it weighs, well, something, but nothing really. So that will be in there as well. And normally I'd put that in a dry bag or in a plastic bag. I think that covers everything for Annapurna. I don't want people watching this thinking, oh my God, it's all about having hot gear to keep me warm. The issue with Annapurna is, and it's the beauty, is that we go from a subtropical climate through to almost polar. Now the polar can be sunny, bright, beautiful, and as long as you're not staying up there overnight, which you won't be, it can be very, very comfortable. But it can also, the polar can be freezing cold, so you do need the warm, but you are going to walk through 4 or 5 different climate zones, and certainly many geographical zones as well. So you do need a range of equipment. The challenge is keeping it down to 15 kilograms. What I've shown you, day pack aside, that comes in at 14 kilograms. And I would tomorrow get on a plane and take that and know I was absolutely well catered for the Annapurna trek. If you've got any questions about this or you want to know more, by all means contact us at Bucket List Company. If you contact the office, they will help you. If it's a very particular thing, they'll put you through to me and I will help you. So, and having done this is my favourite trek. I'm not allowed to say that, but it's my favourite trek. I'll be absolutely delighted to help you have a great time. Thank you.